university. I'm doing my final year in tourism management. So
yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, it's very cool.
thank you. One thing that I realized here in university, we are not educated about nutrition as much as we are not actually educated in a way of thinking that as much as there are some initiatives that provide food, they are not specific. They're just, they generalize it that everyone will fit in within that service, within that program they are part. And
yeah,
I'm not bashing them in a way, but I feel like it's something that we should consider they can't help. Because one thing they put in their mind that is the fact that every student needs to eat. That's all. They don't consider part of nutrition. That's what I've seen. And also, just want to go back to you in terms of being suicidal. It's something that I've seen in terms of I've seen people struggling with academics can be hard. I don't know. Academics can be hard because my supervisor, I also work here. My supervisor is doing my master's in private relations towards disability in the workplace. So masters are very hard. The one thing that I have seen, I was thinking of pursuing a new qualification after this one. Whereas I want to get more into mental health in terms of doing psychology. Anyway, until my master's of trade. So in a way, I'm a bit of skeptical in terms of pursuing it. It's quite hard because it's something that you need to put all the focus in. It's something that you need to just have that conversation with yourself that, no, I'm assuming I'm doing. And so, also still on the conversation, actually, I have a lot of questions towards your answer, what you said. Because firstly, in terms of what course did you do when you dropped out? Secondly, I had worked in terms of, I was part of an organization, a non-profit organization, whereas we assisted women with, not only women, but also little girls with pets. I don't know how to, are you familiar with pets? I don't know if how they... Pets?
Yes, pets. Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, pets. So it's something that was meant, it is a stigma that if you sincerely say a pet, people will look at you in a different way. In a way of, a man carrying a pet. It's something different. So how probably the dynamics are different in terms of that. How are you making sure that you provide the necessary information towards men when it comes to parenting?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That one's easy. That's great. That was a lot, and I think it's worth mentioning briefly before I answer your two questions in particular. You mentioned you really need to put a lot of your focus to really into nutrition to see results, right? And I agree, and I don't agree as well, because I think there's so many things. Either in my life, I've always noticed either I have to spend time or I have to spend money. So either I spend a lot of time figuring out nutrition, which I did, and then get the results, or I could have found an expert and hired them to help me figure out exactly what to do. Because honestly, I would much rather that all my clients don't get distracted ever by their health problems, right? And just do what they are here to do, right? And that answers your first question. So I, for example, was totally into like physics and philosophy. In my undergrad, it was mostly physics. And in my in my master's degree, I went for philosophy. And the suicide pact thing happened right as I was jumping between after undergrad to masters, and then just went downhill from there. But in another world, I love what I'm doing now, but in another world, I would love to have lived in a world where people had taught me how to take care of my brain by eating the very basic good stuff, so that I could keep going and have fun learning philosophy or physics, right? And the same thing for everybody else around me. That's really what I wish. What if chronic illness could be optional, right? What if we really know all the causes of it, and it's just your bad habits or your bad choices if you get a chronic habit like that? I mean, chronic illness. How crazy would that world be? Like, wonderful. So that's what I was studying. And and you guys, it can be really simple. It's a big part of my work is to make all these complicated things super simple, super doable. And it takes a lot of experience to do that. But also when you get it right, people feel the difference right away. So they don't even have to come in. They don't even have to hold their skepticism up for long. Like you said, you're skeptical, right?
Right.
A lot of people are, and yeah, good for them. Why not? But they really calm down quite quickly, I find, when they see results come so quickly, so easily, almost too quickly, as if a solution couldn't have possibly been that simple the whole time, right? Like, it is. Like, and that's the funny thing. And I think it is that simple because most of the stuff is free. I tell my my clients to get 5 vitamin D3 and take at least 5,000 international units of it every single day. Usually more. For example, I take 12,500 international units of vitamin D3 every day. And that just keeps all those basic neurotransmitters and hormones nicely nourished and functioning. But a pharmaceutical company can't patent vitamin D3 and then corner the market and be the only one selling it and then, force everyone to pay a super premium price for it. So all the solutions, most of my solutions that I give people are completely free, if not generic, which means that they can't be exploited in price. So that is really good news. So I hope that helps. If anybody is skeptical like you, just keep those in mind. When something is free, we often don't pay attention to it, as we think it couldn't be effective. Otherwise, everyone would be doing it. And the thing is, common sense isn't common practice, guys. That's a really important thing to remember. And yeah, you guys will blow your own minds if you really just try the basic stuff. And I already mentioned one of the basics, and that is getting enough vitamin D3. And I think I forgot to mention that I accidentally discovered that painful periods were not normal, because as soon as I resolved my depression with nourishment, my periods also became painless all of a sudden, which was mind blowing to me. So I didn't understand. It was a happy accident that I discovered that, and then I couldn't stop talking about it with most people, most ladies that I come across. And here's the thing: another really good place to start in your nourishment is to make sure you have enough protein in your life every single day. And I mean high quality animal protein, not like the plant nonsense that is out there. Most of that will make you sick, unfortunately. And in fact, just a few weeks ago, I had a client of mine who stopped using animal protein and then used vegan protein for a little while. And within a week or so, he developed bladder infection and was peeing out kidney stones. It was horrible. And the thing is, this guy is like a canary in the coal mine. His whole system is super sensitive, so he'll get sick really quickly if he eats poison. But most of us are kind of healthy, so we can deal with poison more for a longer time. And I promise you guys, if you guys are eating plant protein, you guys are slowly poisoning your systems. But at the end of the day, when your system eventually breaks down and really slows down, then the accumulated toxic effect will suddenly just collapse you. Whether it is an autoimmune condition, your hair falling out, your sleep getting crappy, sometimes it's depression. It shows up as different things for everybody. But if you guys want to start with something that will really kick away your skepticism about how free things really, really transform your life, start with protein and figure out how much protein, figure out a way to eat enough protein every day, high quality protein. And that will really do you. That will make, usually what I find with people is that within a few weeks, and you're interested specifically in the mentality part of it, right?
Yeah.
Anybody who has mood issues, like unstable moods, almost feeling like they're a different person sometimes week to week, energy fluctuating, and again, painful periods for women, those things will just go away within weeks and sometimes within days because it's so noticeable and your body needs the protein so much that it will just immediately suck it up and then you'll feel the effects right away. So that is super fun. You guys, I think I still have it up. Yeah, you guys there's a way to figure out how much protein you need. Whether you measure in kilos or pounds. What do you guys use, pounds or kilos? Kilos, nice, yeah. Smart. I like it. I have so many clients in the United States. It's nonsense. I love them, but it's nonsense. So, but here's the thing. It's on my website. It's completely free. It's always going to be free. But you guys can just go on my website and figure out, use the kilogram protein formula, and it basically just tells you exactly how much protein in grams you should be eating every day. And it shows you how much protein is in this kind of food and how to measure it without using a scale, like a food scale. How can you use your hand to kind of estimate how much protein is in a given food? And most importantly, what is the right number for you? Because everybody is unique and it really depends on those formulas. So just go and pick up that formula sheet. It's on, I believe it's isabellathor.com/protein-formula. So protein-formula. It's always going to be free, guys. So just enjoy it and figure out what your number is. I believe, for example, for kilos, what you need to know is, for example, what is your ideal body weight? Let's say in kilos, let's say you want it to be 80 kilos, right? And maybe that's your ideal body weight. And then you take that number and you multiply it by 2.2. And then you get, what's 80 times 2? 160-ish, maybe a little more, right? So 160 is a number, and then you put grams behind it. So now you know 180 grams a day, that's your number. That's the optimal number for you. So start there and enjoy the difference, because you really will notice, especially when it comes to mood issues and feeling like sometimes you're like a pretty crappy person. Maybe you get angry all the time for no reason, or maybe you're sad all of a sudden for no reason. Like, it's either end of the spectrum, and I really find it very helpful for both females and males. So yeah, start there. I don't remember your second question. One was, what course did you take in university? What was the other question?
Actually, the second. I don't know. I was answering the two questions already, but fine. And
amazing.
In terms of we spoke about in terms of teaching men about in terms of periods and also that thing. And also I mentioned that there's this stigma around men of not wanting to have that information and having the stigma around it, that frame that in a way you are a woman in a way, in terms of they see women inferior, and whereas this classify other men as women are trying to educate themselves when it comes to period.
Yes. How could I forget this question? It's such a good question. And it's really important. So here's the amazing thing. So many women find me because their boyfriend, their son, their brother told them about me. And that's it. That it was not the women that looked up, why is my period so painful? What can I do? No, because most women think it's normal, so they don't question it. But it's the guys, and thank you guys. You guys are great. Come on. It was the guys that was like, maybe you shouldn't. Maybe it's not normal to be curled up, popping painkillers more and more every month just to get through the day. Maybe that's not normal. And so what I recommend for guys is that, first of all, know that you are absolutely part of this conversation, because both men and women have different blind spots and we complement each other. So we will see things that you don't see, and men will see things that women don't see. And we will always complement each other, even though we might not be able to have the exact same physical experience. It's okay. there's more to the story than that. Because obviously women can also get sucked into a narrative, like you mentioned in the beginning, right? Into a narrative and never change it. And so that's important to remember. So first of all, you are so welcome in this conversation. And even though it might be tough in the beginning, you'll receive a lot of appreciation after.